book I chose to read is Boy Erased. I chose this book because I thought it was a very interesting topic and it might be something I might enjoy. I think the book will be about a boy and his journey to figure himself out and things like that. I'm most looking forward to seeing like insight on his like feelings and like thoughts throughout his journey, and I'm looking forward to like seeing how my group members think about the book and how it differs from the way I think of it. That's it.
Hi! The book I'm reading is Boy Erased, and I chose this book because I'm from a pretty religious family, but at my church we're very accepting of everyone, and I want to see like what it's like on the other end of the spectrum where they just are filled with hate. I think this book will be partially about like him having to go through all that, and the other part of him healing afterwards, like probably him learning to deal with being gay and stuff, because it's needs to learn it's not a problem. I'm really looking forward to the meetings because I'm from a semi-religious family while I know my other group mates aren't, so I want to see if they see different parts of this book differently than I would.
Hey guys, it's Bree. I chose Boy Erased for my APLAC summer book because I thought it was cool how it's a memoir and it's nonfiction, and I really like reading books that are like mostly true. Also, the fact that it's on like a religious genre, I think that's really cool because I've never read from that point of view before. So that's kind of why. It just was an interesting topic, to be honest, and I've heard really good reviews from it. So that's why I chose my book. Bye.
How did you guys feel about reading the book from a non-religious standpoint?
I think it was a little confusing.
Yeah, it was a little boring.
Do you believe that college life will affect Gerard and what LIA has done to try to change him?
I think it will.
Yeah, I think it will too. How do you feel about the fact that the dad watched porn, even though it's considered a sin?
I think it's hypocritical.
I think he's a huge hypocrite. How did you guys feel about all sins being seen as equal?
I think it's pretty whack.
It's unfair.
Do you think that LIA is taking the right approach to combating his problem?
Well, I mean, it's not a problem in the first place.
Go Pride! Do you think the mom really cared about him being gay, or do you think she just proceeded with the beliefs of her husband?
I think her husband was like a big old push to make her like believe what he believes.
I think she was just like out of fear.
Do you think their relationship was healthy?
They had a really unhealthy relationship. It was a lot of pressure.
A very unhealthy relationship because they just weren't in it. In the book, the receptionist claims you need to fully commit to relieve your sins. Do you think Gerard fully commit?
I think he thinks he's fully committing.
Yeah, me too.
When do you think Gerard will realize that his sins aren't as bad as David's sins?
After he accepts his own sexuality.
As he grows up.
Do you believe that David told Gerard's parents about his actions at college because of his own insecurities about his own sexuality?
I think he has too many confused feelings and doesn't know how to react.
Do you think David is going to hell?
Yes. Are you concerned at how suicidal Gerard's becoming?
Yes, that is not good.
Things have gotten so bad that he's like willing to take his own life. Do you believe that Gerard is starting to fight the idea of his sexuality being a sin more as he like grows up?
Yes, it's not even a sin.
Yeah. Okay, do you think the sin that David committed was worse than any other sin in the book so far?
I think it's up there with some of the top ones.
So I don't think it's comparable because like one's here and one's like.
Why do you think he refers to the nothingness he feels as like an actual physical thing?
I think it's because that he has dealt with it for so long that he feels like it's a part of him.
I think he used it just to emphasize like how suicidal he's feeling.
Do you think it's okay that his parents are threatening to take away his education simply because of his sexuality?
No, they shouldn't have to like make him decide.
Yeah, I agree with what Bailey said.
Do you think both Gerard and his mother are forced to hide away things about themselves in order to maintain his father's reputation?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. How does the expectations of society affect Gerard growing up?
Well, I mean, it's like based on his specific society in his area, because like lots of pressure to be straight. How did you feel when the therapist called his gay thoughts disgusting and an abomination?
Sucky therapist.
I don't think the therapist is doing a very good job at their job. Do you think Gerard has become closer friends with Charles and Dominique because they are like an escape away from his situation with sexuality and his religion?
They're like a positive distraction for him.
Yes, they are a good distraction. After reading the acknowledgments at the end, knowing Gerard and his father aren't very close, do you think Gerard thinks of his scar in a negative way now?
I don't think he thinks of it as much anymore. Like, it doesn't have as much importance after all he's been through. Like, he has worse mental scars.
Yeah, and it faded away, so.
How do you feel when he says God is ruined for him from all the homophobic therapy?
It's sad, and it makes me mad that the world is like this. It's still like this.
The things that he has gone through, when like the camp was so intense and was like, you're disgusting because you're gay. I don't blame him for like having those thoughts.
Do you think if he was raised differently in a gay supporting environment, his relationship with religion and God would be better?
Yes, totally. Even if you're gay, you can have a great relationship with God.
I believe that he would have had a better experience with accepting himself and who he is if he was raised differently in like a different environment. My overall reaction to the book is that it's an interesting book. I thought it was a pretty good book. It probably isn't something that I would pick up and like read on my own, but I'm glad that I read it. My favorite part of the book would be when Gerard like goes like in depth with what's going through his mind and what he's feeling as he's trying to combat this issue that he's having. My least favorite part would be the parts that are boring and like nothing really happens, because those were kind of hard to read through. I was pretty much correct with what I thought the book was going to be about, because it was basically about a boy who's trying to overcome his issues that he's facing. And then the most difficult part of reading the book would be trying to understand the religious parts of it, because I don't have that much of a background, so that was a little confusing.
Okay, hi. I just finished Boy Erased, and after reading it, I thought it was a really good book. I liked it. My only problem is it's not my normal genre, so I wasn't as invested as I normally would be, but it was still really good. Specific notes, like, my favorite parts of the book weren't necessarily parts, but I loved the way he used his words. So, like, when he was talking about the emptiness he felt inside, he called it the nothingness, and I felt that was a lot better than him just going, I felt sad. Like, those parts like those really got me. My guesses were close. I thought like half of it would be him like going through the pain and the other half would be him healing, but it was more about him suffering. The part that was really hard for me to read wasn't necessarily a specific part, but it was just how religion kept on like the religion in his area, how corrupt they were and how much they thought God would hate you if you were gay, and that just like really that was just hard to read about like how the church would react in such a disgusting way.
This is my post-reading video for Boy Erased. I thought it was a pretty good book. I liked the point of view being religious because I've never read from a religious standpoint. My overall reaction was that it makes me sad that people are still like this. It makes me sad as people are so unsupportive towards love and being gay. My favorite parts of the book were probably when he was talking about the scar he has on his foot and like how it shows his love of literature, and at the end when the dad tells him like he just wants him to be happy. That was really touching. My least favorite parts were probably pretty much anything talking about LIA or like the process of LIA, because again it just saddens me that people were like that. Comments prior to reading, I didn't think Jared would fully commit to LIA. I kind of thought he would stand up for himself a little more. My most difficult part about reading Boy Erased was probably the fact that it was religious. Overall, I think it was a really good book and I enjoyed reading it.